Welcome to We Grown.
Question mark.
Question mark.
I'm Jess,
I'm Maya.
And I'm Sean.
and today we are continuing our stories about our birth stories. And today I will be telling mine. But before we get into that, what had you feeling grown?
Sean, you can go first.
Ooh, that was a curveball that I
That
was
we do
not.
every time.
Yeah, no, well, I wasn't expecting to go first. But that's cool. What had me feeling grown? I mean, what doesn't have me feeling grown? Um, Me and John have been on this kick where we discuss so we're both very frugal. So we're very about saving money. Neither one of us are like big spenders, which is great for us because it helps us save money. But there are just times where like usually like I don't know, I just don't ever really like want to buy stuff. It takes a quite a bit for me to like actually make purchases. And then especially when it's like a purchase for myself. But I went and I got me a one of the rings that track like your health. So
The
I
Aura
went and
Ring?
I got a Samsung ring
Oh,
because I'm a Samsung person. I'm a Android fan. So yeah. So that has been they're expensive. They're like $400, but of course we had to wait for Black Friday, so had to wait for the sale to happen. And then John also I guess he was on one of his deals pages and they were like, "Oh, you get like a 40% off if you use the .edu, like if you're a student." And he was like, "Does yours work?" And I was like, "Yeah, mine worked. Like, the thing is active." So I was like, "Let me try it." So it really was 40% off. So I was like, "Dang, that's quite a bit of saving right there." So that was cool, and I'm glad that I got it. I got like the ring kit to try and figure out like my sizing. I got some really chunky fingers. Like my fingers are just thick. They look like I'd just be mad because it goes up to like size 13 and mine was like an 11. And I was like, all right, like I ain't huge, but whatever. But it's cool because it just tells you different stuff. It sounds like an ad, like a whole promotion. Um,
Not
but
sponsored.
I,
We would like
right,
to be
not
though.
sponsored. If not, Samsung ain't caring about us. But it was just interesting because last night, so like my sleep, I think I'm a great sleeper. I sleep really well. But my sleep last night wasn't as wonderful as it usually is. One, because Kendall woke up at 3:30. So we were chilling. She was just hungry, really, because growth spurts are wild. But she woke up. I'm up. So I was like, "Oh, you only got 4 hours of sleep." And I was like, "Right." I went back to sleep and then I woke up again. And it was just telling me stuff like, "Oh, like it took you a while to fall asleep. Your heart rate didn't come down as quickly as usual. You was probably drinking." And I was like, "Ooh." I said, "Not you reading me like a book." Cause I surely was. Um,
Boy.
it was Thanksgiving. Like that's what you do. Uh, my cousin brought over the XXL wines. Y'all had them before?
No.
Them wines they strong. They 16%. And that'll knock you off your feet real quick. And they're good. They taste like juice. They will sneak up on you in a heartbeat. And like, oh, let me add a little.
Yeah,
And
my
it's like, oh,
dad
it's
had
cool.
a
It's cool.
18% wine yesterday and he was like, "Ooh, this is good. How much percent is it?" And we go look and it's 18 and he was like, "What are you trying to do?"
Okay, but your dad, he be drinking them high percentages and not knowing nothing. I remember I made that sangria that one time, and that was the first time I made sangria, and it came out so bad. It was like pure vodka. Like I don't know what I was doing. And your dad was like, "Dang, this thing is real good." And I was like, "No, I'm drinking this straight alcohol."
My dad, I don't know why he acts like he doesn't drink. I mean, he doesn't drink as much as he used to, but back in the day, that man used to drink. So him trying to act like I only drink a sip of wine. He still went back and got another glass of the wine after all his complaining. He still drank another one because I was watching
Like,
him pour it and I didn't say nothing because I was like, you were just talking about how am I gonna drive home? I'm like, you 10 minutes away. You're not about to get drunk off this wine, and you don't have anywhere to go right now. You could just chill. He's like, you want me to carry my car home? I'm like, okay. Okay.
Dramatic.
Okay.
Not carry my car home.
And then he poured his second glass himself. I was like, it's so strong though.
That's hilarious. That is funny. But that's my what had me feeling grown is just being read like a book,
Mm,
talking about my daggone alcohol. I'm like, you better. It wasn't wrong though.
yeah,
It
that's
wasn't
good
wrong.
though. Little plug for the rings.
Oh, I got another one. I got another one. Moyo was on the call for this because, weight loss journey out here trying to, get slim and trim, get my summer 2026 body ready. And I tried on
26
this
is crazy.
realistic over here.
Okay.
This goal has
Like,
moved every year for the
okay, I
Every
don't
past
need
year. It
three
was
you,
years.
2022. It was 2024.
don't need y'all spilling my tea, my information.
We just trying to
Thank
be
you.
honest. Just trying to be
Like, ain't
honest.
nobody ask for all of that. Anyway, so back to my 2026 goal, slim and trim. So I tried on a pair of pants. Well, okay, first of all, I bought a pair of pants. They were like Amazon pants, and I like my Amazon pants. They fit nice. But I was over ambitious and I was like, I'm gonna get the size that, I wanna be. I'm gonna fit into them. I did not fit into them. Them pants did not button at all. They ain't even zipping. I was kind of hurt. But it's been a few months, and I tried them on this morning. I was like, let me not try this one. I was on the phone with Moyo, and I was like, don't look at me because they're not ready yet. Like, let me try them on. I was like, I shouldn't because it's th after Thanksgiving, and I'm probably gonna be bursting. If them pants ain't zipping and button, I said, "Ooh, look at my
He
booty!
was
Look
pressed.
at,
He
I
was
made it! I
pressed.
was. I know. I threw the phone. I said, John, go look. Look at it! I made it!" He was like, "Look at you, killing it." I was killing it. I am. So that also had me feeling grown, getting into some pants that I couldn't fit before.
Yeah, that's
Look
good.
at you.
Congratulations.
Slimming down.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Slim and trim, about to lose these titties too.
Mm,
So it's like, no, I'm not, because that's just how my dad looked, and I would look like him. So they're not going nowhere.
that's funny. All right, what had me feeling grown? Okay, this is kind of on the weight loss ish type of vibe. So snacking is something that I enjoy doing, but I feel like a lot of people feel that I just am small because I got these good genes and blah 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 blah, which is true. But also, when I say I'm snacking, I'm
Like,
eating. When I say I'm snacking, I'm eating like a miniature piece of candy or a handful of nuts with the shell. I might be eating them for a long time, but how many do I really eat? Because I got to take it out the shell, especially like pumpkin seeds or pistachios. Like you got to break it. You got to do some work. So I like to snack, but I realize that it's not that I like to eat the food. It's just that I like the idea of eating something. Like the activity is fun, but it's not the food. So I started because instead of me grabbing a bag of chips, I'll just grab some nuts that have shells on them and take my time and eat my snack, and then I stay skinny. And I want the world to know, substitute your snacks. Instead of eating a bag of chips, go get you some nuts with some shells or something that's hard. You got to work for a little bit. Some fruit that you got to do something. That's my
cancel
TED Talk.
culture, get her out. No, I don't want to hear any. Like, this
I'm
whole time she
telling
talking, I was
y'all.
like, where are we going with this? Because she talking about
You know
some
I
people
stay
talk about
skinny.
how right, like, just listen
No,
to.
because
I don't.
we're all on a journey, right? We're all on this journey. I joined the group and I said, y'all keep me accountable. I need to work out. Ain't nobody keeping you accountable, first of all. No, nobody said, girl, you ain't worked out in a couple days. What's going on? Nobody. So,
Because ain't none of us. Well, I worked out, but
yeah, and you didn't help. Y'all just want me to
Mm,
be out of shape.
I talked to you. I said I worked out, not in the chat, but we talked on the
Me.
phone, and I said it. That was supposed to be motivation, and I
No,
said, Moyo, let me be your motivation. You don't
no,
remember
you
that?
didn't. Don't
I
lie
did.
publicly.
I said that. I said it on the phone.
He lying. We ain't
I
no,
did, and then
there's
you looked at
no
me like,
That's a lie.
yes, oh my
Yes, it
goodness.
was a lie. Yes, it was a
No,
lie.
I said it.
Anyways,
not
in
that
Sean's
face.
fantasy world, he tried to tell me to work out But and the other funny thing is because I call my kids out too because I'm like, y'all ain't tell
No,
me either to work out. And I asked my husband, I was like, you trying to go to the gym today? He was like, I gotta work late. I was like, good. Because I didn't want to work out anyway. So
ooh,
everybody failed me. I just want y'all to know.
Not
Everybody
not
failed me.
everybody.
It's a podcast, it's a video, and more.
Okay.
what was the had you feeling grown?
What
How
had me
you stay
feeling
so
grown is
skinny?
that what had me feeling grown is that I am making healthier choices in life because I cannot keep my physique the way that I thought I could because I'm getting older. So I can't
Girl,
just eat everything I want to eat. So I need to
but
substitute some
nothing
of my snacks.
but nothing changed.
What you mean? Y'all don't see me when I wake up in the morning. If my
Then it
stomach is
goes
on
away by lunch.
no, no.
Like, because
No,
when I
what
wake up in the
It goes
morning,
from
that's
it goes from this to that.
can can I have see that's the thing. That's why skinny people don't be wanting to talk. Y'all be acting like we don't have no problems. And that's a problem with the world. Because I gotta stay fit too. Y'all see my daddy belly? We can get bellies.
I want a belly like your daddy. Like that's my goal.
Not that's my goal.
Like, give me the skinny belly.
Bruh. I don't want a skinny belly. I just want to be skinny with the flat. With some abs if I could get some in there. That's all I want. We all got different goals. We all got different journeys. I also want to not be winded. The other day, I ran up the steps and I got into bed, and my husband said, "Are you all right? I never heard you winded before." And that was a wake up call because I've never been winded. Like, I don't really get winded like that, especially not just running up the steps. And I'm like, dang, I just
In
ran
the
up
bed,
the
like,
steps. Like, give me a chance. Because I also ran up the steps and immediately had something to say. So there was no, like, calming back down. But yeah, fit. I'm trying to
yeah.
get fit. That's the what had me feeling grown. I'm trying to get fit. I'm trying to make better decisions with food because my body is not what it used to be. No matter what y'all
Okay.
say. But that is it. Yep. Haters.
It's crazy because what had me feeling grown was me looking at my pictures from Thanksgiving. I'm like, now me having the mama arms. Yeah.
What?
You know, like
Ooh.
the I was like, oh no, that ain't muscle. I was just like, yeah, I gotta get back to it. And then also the winded thing, like something fell on the floor yesterday, and I had to like get on the floor to get it. And I'm like, not me breathing hard. So I'm
Girl,
like, yeah,
by getting on the floor?
I have not worked out, and like, I'm a little embarrassed to say, but it's been a year because I didn't work out while I was pregnant. Like I did like a few like dance workouts, but that's about it.
I was like, I was on the call and you was doing stuff.
Yeah, but that was it. Like I didn't do any like heavy. I didn't do any lifting. I definitely didn't do
Uh,
any lifting unless it was like, well, the one time I did lift something, it wasn't like to work out. It was just lifting something, and I was like, yeah, I can't do that no more. So I just try to avoid strenuous activity for the most part. But yeah,
okay.
so yeah, I have not been
I
working
got
out since I found out I was pregnant.
I gotta add you back to our fitness challenge group.
Yeah, now I can participate for real, for real, for real, for real.
Me too.
So let me not do that. Let me not
We
do
gonna
that.
It's a fitness
I changed
challenge.
it to I changed the wording. I said fitness.
Exactly.
I said
Y'all
fitness
always trying to
Yeah.
purposefully.
exclude me.
We
So the next topic, the next segment, what's on the socials? So with what's on the socials, we usually like commentate on or comment on like a post that we relate to or that may be viral. And so Moyo has the post and we'll play it right now.
Am I original? Am I the only one?
So, and I'll read it. for those that don't watch, it says, as a millennial, I will never not end my sentences with LOL. LOL is basically punctuation for me, LOL. And I think I sent that to y'all, and I was like, literally everything ends in LOL. Even sometimes at
Mm-hmm.
work, if I don't have nothing else to say, I'll just be like, LOL.
Not sending a period.
Yeah.
And scene.
No.
But yeah, I
Especially if I don't
do.
want it to seem too serious, like I'll be like, LOL.
Yeah. Yeah.
Turn in your timesheets. LOL. But really though.
Actually. No, I do. I actually do. I think the other day, I was with Chris, who's on the other podcast, and we were at the gym, and we were texting in our group chat with me, Jasmine, and him, and he's trying to find an emoji for something. I was like, just say LOL. I don't understand why you're making this so hard. Ended with LOL because he was trying to make it like lighthearted, and I was like, yeah, that's what LOL is for. He's like, really? And I'm like, I thought this was common knowledge. LOL ends the sentence lightheartedly.
Right.
And then he put the wrong emoji, and I'm like, that's not what you think it is. That's not the
Oh no.
emoji that you think it is. He was trying to do the thinking emoji, and I think he did like the surprise face eyes emoji. That's not what you meant. I don't think that's
Oh
what you meant.
no. That's
But
not
yeah,
it.
LOL.
That's funny.
LOL is simple.
Yeah, I'm definitely an LOL person. Like every sentence I have. And then when I'm really laughing, you might get an LOL with an exclamation point. Like, like dang, that was funny. Like, you got it.
Laughing out loud, but actually just sitting here.
Like, hmm.
Yeah.
Nah, I think even when I'm being serious, like if I don't want people to take it too much to heart, like you need to get your life together and da 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 da, LOL. Like just to lighten it a little bit. Like I know
Yeah.
you know better. You should be doing this. Da, 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 LOL.
Like,
But if I
but
want it
we
to
still
hurt your feelings, I'm
cool.
not gonna add no
LOL.
LOL. Yes, I will do that. I will do that. We're still cool, or I love you, LOL.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Millennials.
Yeah. Real millennials. I don't know if they're fake millennials. I guess so.
People on the cusp.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
feel
On
like
both
some of the
sides.
really older millennials may not, but
Yeah.
I feel like we're like in the middle of millennials.
Yeah, we're like
So
prime.
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
Because
prime.
there's some people in like the 80s, I think. Like it goes back and forth between what part of the 80s millennials started,
Yeah.
but
Like
it's
early
definitely
80s, I
90s
guess, or
babies.
whatever.
Yeah. But yeah. Sean, you wanna
Uh,
you wanna tell us your throwback story?
Oh yeah, new
yeah,
series.
yeah, so we're gonna introduce our, I guess it's like a throwback session. Um, what are we calling these things?
Throwback tales, I think.
No, I
Yeah.
mean
Or
Oh,
segment.
segments.
Yeah,
yeah.
throwback segment. So
Or walk down memory lane.
I would tell a story that is, so we were talking, so this, whatever, Tuesday, I went and I got a massage. And there was a lot that went into this massage. They got this whole story about it. It was just ghetto. Like, I went in, I was trying to get a massage. I'm starting to take off my shoes. I was called, I got an appointment, and somebody else came in. I heard, and then they were like, "Oh, I'm here for my massage." And then they were like, it was two of them. So a lady knocked on my door, and she's like, you got to reschedule because I didn't know that it was two of them, and it's only two of us." And I was like, "What?" Like, that's crazy. So I'm like putting my shoes back on, and I'm like, "Do I reschedule now?" And she's like, "Just call." And I was like,
Sean
that's
better than
wild.
me.
So I'm taking. Well, the only reason I feel like I was okay with it is because I just have leave. So I'm like, yeah, I ain't doing nothing anyway. So I'm just off anyway. So I'll just come back. It's not like it was far. It was like 8 minutes from my house. So I'm like, whatever. So I'm like, postponing because I'm trying to listen to the ones that are about to get this massage since they kicked me out. So I'm like trying to well, I'm not leaving without getting some water here. I got a whole water bottle in my hand, but I'm like, I'm gonna use y'all water. So I'm like filling up the water. She's like running over there to take the cup, and she's like, "Oh, here you go." So then she's like, all right, y'all, do y'all want the same room? And then the one girl was like, oh, I'm not getting a massage. Like, I just drove her here. And then she's like, oh, well, you can go back into the massage room. And I was like,
I would have
yeah,
immediately
annoying.
left.
So I'm like, whatever. So I go back in, take off my clothes. I'm laying there. She comes in, she started doing a massage. And then somebody knocks on like someone comes in. But the lady that's doing my massage was the front desk person. And so she leaves like the room. So I'm like, I know she ain't leave. So then they talk in and I'm like, still laying there, like she really left me. And then she came back in like, oh, like I'm sorry, like I'll add time on at the end. Yeah, I know you were. Like that wasn't an option for you to not do. I didn't pay for you to go answer the door. And she's like, well, my boss isn't here. Okay, well, figure that out. But anyways, that's not even the story. I got the massage. So I was telling them I was I was talking Marcus was on the call and then I was asking him some questions about
Questions
his
that can't be said on the podcast.
his experiences about getting massages and my experiences about getting massages. So then that kind of brought up I'm a big Groupon person, so I get massages through Groupon, especially when they be on sale because, like I said, frugal. So I got this one massage. It was in like Colombia. I have no clue. Like I have very little memory of the massage, except for like going into the massage. So I go in, uh, do, and the lady's like, the room is kind of weird. Like it's a very open space, and there's like a table in the middle, and there's like a ladder, like a stepping stool to get to the table, and there's like this big old glass bowl in the middle, and I was like, oh, that's weird. Like, wonder what they use that for, and where's the massage table? Um, so I'm like, well, whatever. So the lady comes up and she's like, "Oh, okay, like change into this." And I was like, "Oh, I've never had a massage where they provide me with the underwear that I'm gonna wear." I was like, "Oh, this is different." So I was like, "Okay." So then I take the little thing that she gives me. That thing was a whole string, and it had a mesh net for my penis. And I was like, "Not this mesh net. Like, why is there a net? Like at this point, I might as well just be naked." Because you can see everything. So I'm wearing this little tiny little thong thingy. I like attach it. So the lady comes in and she's like, okay. And I'm like, okay. And she's like, all right, come on up to the bowl. And I was like, the bowl? The glass bowl in the middle? She's like, yeah. And I was like, okay. So I walk up the little stairs. I hop in the glass bowl. So I'm sitting there and it looks like a little egg. And I'm like, this is nice. Like, this is different. Like, as I'm just sitting in this glass bowl. So she comes out with this little ball of oil, and I was like, oh. So then she starts pouring oil on me, and I'm like, oh, I see what the bowl is for now. I'm like, because she's just pouring oil on me. And I was like, this is a weird way to start this massage. So then she like dips me into the oil in the bowl, and then I have no clue what happened after that. I like woke back up, and I was laid out. So I was like, okay, like
Not laid
that
out.
like that happened. So and she's like, yeah. So then I was like, I was still dripping oil and all. So I was like, huh. She gives me a little towel. My little jock strap is still on. So I'm like, well, that's cool. I like dry off. Uh, put my shoes back on. Then I walk out. I'm still kind of oily because that towel didn't do anything. So I'm like in the car, still oiled up, like driving home. Like, dang, what happened? So. I don't know. It was a time. It was a time. So then I tried to find the place again because I was like, let me go back just to see like that didn't happen. And then they closed down. So, but I have like I can't find it anymore just because it was so many years ago. So I was like, what did they close for? Probably because they was doing whatever they probably shouldn't have been doing in this little oil bowl. It was like an egg. It was like a glass bowl, but it was a big bowl. So they had that junk custom made.
I wonder if we don't have that many followers, but people who live in Maryland, if you have experienced this, please let us know the name of this place because I
But
actually want to know. I
I might
actually
have
want to
just,
know.
I think I could have just, I mean, I'm sure I probably just fell asleep because I fall asleep in massages.
While somebody's pouring oil on you and dips your head in, then you're just like, "Ooh, this is a good time to knock out and not remember anything."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I probably was, you know, real sleep. Bro, I
I
mean, it was
haven't.
cool.
No,
If
I
it was
haven't
that
gotten
bad,
no
it wouldn't have been on
massages.
Groupon.
That's the
That's
main reason
exactly
it'll
where
be
it
on
would.
Groupon.
Yeah, that's exactly why it would be on Groupon.
Hmm. I did get another massage on Groupon. It was real intense. Like, it was a deep tissue massage. That man was breaking me. He's like, all right, like, this is gonna, the pain should be like 9 out of 10. And I was like, he's like, where are we? And I'm like, seven, seven. And he's like, we're gonna get to nine. And I was like, oh no. That man broke my body. And my butt was
What
like,
in the world?
yes, it was
Why
in a
would you say
trailer. Like,
seven? Not in a trailer.
yeah, it was like,
Wait. This is your ad for Groupon? Please.
but it was good. It was so good. I went back. Like, I booked that joint again, but that one also was closed down. So Groupon had to give me my money back, but I was real hurt. He did a really good job. He was like, "Oh, I can tell you're a runner based on these bumps in your shin." And I was like, "Oh, thank you." And he was like, "Oh, you've got some scar tissue here. Like you must have ripped this at some point in your life." And I was like, "I did rip this playing dodgeball. Thank you for noticing." So I was like, he knew what he was talking about. It didn't matter if it was in a trailer.
This man got a
Everybody got to
massage off
start
a dumpster.
somewhere.
Mm,
He Everyone starts somewhere.
you're
He
right.
started and finished there.
He got a massage from a mortician.
Maybe, but whatever, he knew. Maybe they're the best
Yo,
people to do massages.
Maybe.
maybe they get
But
a little
that's
change. Mm, mm.
but
Yeah, no.
that was my throwback story.
I
Stories.
feel, I feel like the moral of the story is do not get massages off of Groupon. I
I'm
feel
That's
still
like
get my
yeah, that's
massages off
not
of
the
Groupon.
moral because I did get a massage off of Groupon and it was fine. And it was in a very good establishment. It was a chain, but that was when I was in Hawaii. And they were good. And I got one for myself and my mother-in-law because I was like, oh, they were good. Let me buy another one. And well, it was supposed to be for my husband, but he gave it to his mom when she came. And she said it was good too. But it was uh it was a known establishment who had multiple chains. I didn't go to the rando. And I also
I mean,
looked
I
at the
feel like
yeah.
reviews first.
all of the like if I got 10 massages, only two are weird.
Okay.
I don't know how many massages I've had, but I've not had a weird one.
I mean, but they were all enjoyable, all experiences that I don't regret one bit
That's what
at
matters,
all.
I think.
I mean,
Okay.
like the one that I got the other day. Okay, so maybe three. Uh, that one was a Groupon massage too, and it was a really good massage. Was it great that she left me? No. Was it great that she tried to kick me out? No. But that massage was on point.
Would you allow your daughter to get
All right.
Yeah.
listen.
We ain't at the kids' table.
I'm just saying. Would you let your daughter get a massage off a Groupon when she's of age, of course?
I would get the massage first and then
That's
test it out.
that's
That's
a good
fair.
answer.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Like
And places
this
I
isn't the
go,
one.
Mm.
places I go have the little button if you feel uncomfortable. I like those kind of
Oh,
places.
I mean, I never been to one like that. Not when it got a button. I mean,
If you
I
ever
also
feel
feel like,
uncomfortable, you just press the button and somebody will come in.
yeah, like I don't know. Like if it was up to me, I'd be in there and they'd be like, all right, take off. take off your clothes to your comfort. I leave my underwear on for them so that they don't be like, this man really just letting this like hang to the side. Yes, I am. So I'm like, well, but yeah, all
Interesting.
good. But yeah, that is our throwback story
Yeah,
of this episode.
those are good
Throwback
segments. Okay.
stories.
People should
Yeah.
comment what segments or if they have like ideas of things we should talk about, any stories in particular you want to hear. I know people wanted us to tell college stories, but I'm like, we don't have no real interesting college stories to tell. And if we do, they'll run out quickly. At least for me anyway.
I
Um
mean, I think we have story. I mean, when I talk to my people's like so many of them go to UMBC and they just be like, UMBC, so like there's nothing to do, and I'm like, you really have to make the experience. I was like, look, we
Yeah.
did so much, but it was just stuff that we were like, let's do X, Y, and Z. Let's try that. Like, you just have to be open to trying stuff. Like, you can't be
Yeah.
closed-minded.
yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. But I feel like we've told at least the ones that I consider good. I feel like we've already told, I think.
Like us meeting Third Eye Blind was really,
I thought we told that.
We did.
did we? I mean, but that was
Okay.
just like one of those ones where it was just really random. Like you have
Yeah.
to kind of throw yourself, like put yourself out there or do random crap. Like I mentioned, we were at the pool, the indoor pool, and people were like, "There's an indoor pool." It was like the fact that you don't know that,
That's interesting. So what are they doing?
going to school and going home.
Do they
Well,
live
of
on
course it's gonna be
campus?
boring.
No, some of them do, some of them don't. I think the ones that live on campus are actually pretty. They're all like, "Oh, we into something every weekend." So
Yeah. Yeah, I think that makes
Yeah.
a difference.
yeah,
Yeah.
but like many of them
Yeah.
have friends that live on campus, and I'm like, just stay there then. Like, but
Yeah.
okay. What's our next segment? Is it the real
Topic.
live one?
Yeah. Main topic. We're back into our birth stories. And it's just turn.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, where do I even start?
Start from the
I feel
beginning.
like
The very,
the
very
big
beginning.
I feel like the very, very beginning is graphic.
Yeah.
Uh,
Start from there because I feel like there's importance to people understanding what's possible and what's possible basically.
that's I guess that's fair. So beginning, so because I'm type 1 diabetic, I wanted to be able to plan, I guess, when we were going to start having kids. And so I wanted to get my blood sugars in order, because when you don't have them in order, it can present a lot of complications for getting pregnant and or maintaining a healthy pregnancy. So I had an IUD put in um, years ago, and so it was the copper one, so it didn't have hormones in it. So diabetes is also a hormonal disease. So like if my hormones are high or like even when I'm on my period, like my blood sugars are crazy. So I needed something to not add to that madness. So during the time that I was on the IUD, I was trying to get my blood sugars in more control range, and so we call it like the A1C, the hemoglobin A1C number. And so like ideally for pregnancy, you want to be in the fives and the sixes. And I want to say when I first started on this journey, I started out at like the nine range, and I was gradually getting down. So I got down to like the sevens, and it was like good with the sevens. But last year I had gotten down like closer to the sixes, and I'm like, oh, this is great. This is awesome. We'll start to actually, I'll probably have the IUD taken out in by the end of the year so that we can start trying to get pregnant in 2024. And so last summer, me and my husband were about to go on a trip. I don't know, have we talked about using the cups? Well, me and Moyo used the cups, the menstrual cups. And so I was using a menstrual cup at the time. It's more eco-friendly, it's a little healthier. But the thing with IUDs is they have strings. And so when I went to pull my cup out, I pinched the strings as well and I pulled my IUD out. It is not a common happening and it's very traumatic, but it happened. And I'm just like panicking because of the fact that like I literally pulled this surgically inserted item out of my body and I'm bleeding and we're about to go on a trip. It was a lot. And so I like immediately like contacted my doctor and she's like, girl, how did you do this? Because I've not had a patient do this before. But she was like, well, it's good that it pretty much came out in one piece because if it broke apart, then we would probably have some problems. So she's like, do you want to be on a different birth control? Or, are you going to be okay? And so I'm like, I don't want another IUD for right now, but we can start with the pill. So we tried the pill for a little bit. Having ADHD, I'm not going to remember to take the pill every day at the right time. And I just was having this feeling like I wasn't supposed to be on the pill. So I kind of just like stopped taking it after a while. Like talked to my husband. I was like, I don't want to take it anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. And like we'll get pregnant like next year, like because it's now approaching the end of the year. And so we were cool. We were doing well. Had our anniversary. Had a what was it? Our Halloween party. Like just living our lives. And then November rolls around, and there was this one night we were like sitting on the couch watching TV, and I'm just crying. And he's like, "What's wrong? What's wrong?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I don't know. I don't know why I'm crying." He's like, "Are you sure you're okay?" I'm like, "I guess." And so, after like that night, we go to bed, and then at like 8 o'clock in the morning, I wake up the next day, and I'm like, I can't shake it, but I need to have some super spicy buffalo wings from America's Best. Mind you, it's 8 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday. And he's like, what? I'm like, I need America's Best wings. I gotta get some buffalo wings. So I pull up, literally have the receipt as customer number one for the day, and I get the wings, and I ate them at like 9 o'clock in the morning. Buffalo
But
wings, and
you're
my husband's,
at the
"Hmm?
at this time you were flexitarian, right?
Not flexitarian.
Oh,
No." And that
oh,
was the thing. At that time, I was vegetarian still, and so that's why he was like, "Why do you need chicken wings?" I'm like, "I can't shake it. I just have to have it." And so after that, he's like, when is your period coming? And I'm like, boy, mind your business. It come when it come. And he's like, I think you should probably take a pregnancy test. And I'm like, you're crazy. My period does what it does. Like, it's just probably a period craving or something like that. And so maybe 2 days passed, and I'm like, let me go ahead and take this pregnancy test. Now, mind you, because I had IUD in, I only had like expired pregnancy tests in the house because I had the IUD in for so long. And so I use an expired pregnancy test, and that junk pops up positive. And I'm like, oh nah, somebody lied. Somebody's lying. So I tell him, and he like is like in shock and is like, what? I'm like, I need a new test. I need new tests. So he goes out to buy new tests. And I like called my mom, and I'm like crying, panicking because this wasn't the timeline. 2023 was not the time that I was expecting to get pregnant. I was expecting we'd get pregnant in 2024. Being a planner, I'm like, this is when it's going to happen. It's going to happen in 2024. Like, I had the IUD in, I ripped it out. I was on the pill. Like, my body's going to need time to heal and like adjust and all of that. Like, yeah, my blood sugars are better, but like, there's still the whole, like, I guess, woman part of it, not just the diabetes part of it. So I'm just like, oh, like, this can't just be happening right now. My mom's excited, and she's like, this is it. Like, this is happening. Like, I'm excited. And I'm like, I'm not ready. Like, I'm not ready to be a mom. I don't know what a few more months would have gave me, but I was just like, I'm not ready to be a mom right now. Like, we were planning for 2024. It was supposed to happen in 2024. I feel like that's what I felt like God was telling me, even though I feel like my friends that knew about the IUD, they're like, no, God wants you to have that baby this year. Like, you getting pregnant this year kind of thing.
Ooh,
And I'm
tell them
like,
about Joyous predictions.
and that was the other thing. Yeah, Joyce was like, she kept saying stuff like Auntie Just Baby, like Auntie Just Baby,
It's
was
like
this,
Auntie
this,
Jess
this.
has a baby in her stomach, and it's a girl, and like she named the baby, and she kept saying, "I'm like Auntie Jess don't have a baby in her stomach." It's like, and you know they say that kids know these things. I guess she would have been 3 at the time when she was saying this.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, and so we were just like, and I told Jess, I'm like, my daughter said this, and you know they be saying stuff about kids, but Jess is just like, oh, whatever, like, and then the
Hmm.
IUD thing happened. I'm like, I mean, the baby's saying it, sound like God is saying it, like, come on. But yeah, she was still panicky.
Yeah. Yeah. I was just like, I hear what y'all saying, but also I feel like 2024 is going to be the year of pregnancy, and then 2025 would be the year of like baby. But apparently, I was the one that had the messaging wrong. So yeah, we find out in November. So yeah, my mom ended up knowing, and I sent the picture to Moyo like the next morning, like, oh shoot, like I'm
Yeah,
pregnant.
she sent me pictures of pregnancy tests, and I'm like, am I pregnant? Like, what's going on?
Not in my
I was
friend.
confused. Like, I don't understand. Because Jess had always been saying her timeline. So I'm like, it can't be Jess, but why would it be me? I was like, maybe these are like my old pregnancy tests. Like, if she tried to tell me they about to start trying, she didn't send no text. She just sent me pictures. And I'm over here like freaking out. And I had Joyous next to me too that day. And I'm freaking out. And I'm like, I need to call Auntie Jess. She's like, okay, like, what's wrong with you? And but yeah, so then I called because I don't remember if I even text back. Did I text back? I'm sure there's. I'll look.
Yeah,
Continue your story.
yeah. So after we got the positives, I like sent my doctor a message like, hey, I just tested positive on these pregnancy tests, and because again I'm diabetic, they like move really quickly. So I think it was like a Wednesday, and so she's like, come in Thursday to do the I think they do the blood test. Yeah, they do the blood test. So they like come in Thursday, do the blood test, and we'll set you an appointment for Friday for like an in-office appointment. So I do all of that. It's confirmed, and they're like, okay, congratulations. Now we need to start setting you up appointments with like your diabetes team to meet like every 2 weeks or so to adjust your medicine and see how you're doing and see how you're feeling, and to like monitor everything. So it's just, it's a lot of appointments. It's a lot of appointments like in office to like make sure, like the pregnancy is doing well. It's the appointments for the diabetes to make sure. Oh, and they also like switched my setup. So at the time, I had the DIY like um, automated insulin pump, and they're like, absolutely not. You need to be on like an FDA approved like medical pump. So they put me on a new pump, um, which I'm still on now, and it's not bad. It's just not how I originally had it set up, but it did, I think, help me through the pregnancy, like adjust with everything. Um, so yeah, had all of those appointments, had a high risk doctor also look at the pregnancy. So she like monitored like the baby's like growth and like progressions and stuff. So I had my OBGYN appointments, I had my high risk doctor appointments, and then I had my diabetes doctor appointments, and then they added like another call in there with like another person to like do check-ins. So it was just a lot of appointments. Um, I think we told my husband's family in December, but for the most part, like just the people close to us knew. I didn't really want to like publicize it because again, like being diabetic, there's just a lot more risks. And like a lot of people were always like, well, why didn't you tell us sooner? Why didn't you plan the baby shower sooner? Why didn't you do this? And I'm like, this is a very sensitive, high risk pregnancy. And like, I knew other type ones who like had lost their babies. And so for me, I was just very cautious about sharing it, and just I was just very anxious about the pregnancy in general. Like I just wanted to make sure everything was okay and make sure that, I was doing the right things and that, nothing was detrimental to my health or her health. Um, but honestly, it was technically, well, maybe not technically, but it was a good pregnancy. I would say that it was definitely a good pregnancy. Um, like every week, every new like week, I felt like I had a new symptom of something else, but my blood sugars were great. She was growing good. The hardest part was probably like staying within the calories or the carbs that they would tell me to stay within because I was so hungry and they're like, if you eat too much because you're diabetic, you're going to have a bigger baby, which was true because we ended up delivering sooner because of other complications that came up. Um, so it was just a lot. It was just a lot with the whole like being diabetic and being pregnant and also being over the age of 30. So, but yeah, so we ended up delivering a little early because I had developed something called cholestasis, which is like a liver thing where you're like producing more bile and it could like produce more meconium for the baby. Um, and like they'll like breathe it in. And so you don't want to have that happen. And if that happens, then the NICU has to come in. So they were like, we're just going to make sure you deliver at 37 weeks versus 39, which is what I wanted to. Is when you're diabetic, they never let you go to 40 weeks. They may let you go to 38, 39 if you're lucky. And because my numbers were good, I thought I could make it to 39. But because of the cholestasis, they were like, no, you're going to deliver at 37. So we go into the hospital. Um, oh, and she was originally going to be a 4th of July baby because of this 37 weeks thing. And I did not want that. I did not want a 4th of July baby. I wanted my child to have her own day, her own holiday, not be a baby born on a freaking holiday. And, we have the whole thing of like, oh, now we got to plan around 4th of July. Like, no. So I go in on the 3rd thinking that she was going to be born on the 4th. And she did not come on the 4th. Um, I feel like my labor experience was decent. Like, it just felt like period cramps for me for the most part. And I did the nitrous oxide for maybe like a day or so. But then I got to the point where I could not eat. And so that's when I was like, yeah, give me the epidural because if I can't eat, I'm gonna be mad. So I got the epidural. Um, and then we got to a point where because I had the epidural, I couldn't like move as much. So I couldn't like do all of the different positions and exercises to kind of help to get the baby um, or dilate more. That was really the issue. Like, I wasn't dilating enough. So this was probably like the second day that we're in the hospital, and they're like, okay, if the baby doesn't come in the next couple of hours or you don't dilate enough, we're gonna have to do a C-section. And I'm like, that was the one thing I did not want to do. So just did not want to have a C-section because, again, being diabetic, it's going to take me longer to heal. I felt like there could have been more complications with the C-section. So I was just like, I did not want to have one. So the night progresses, and the doctor is like, we need to take you um, in the next couple of hours, and we're going to do the C-section thing. Like, the this is not going to go well if we keep bleeding. And so we're like, okay. So we go in for the C-section. Um, it was a very scary experience because I felt like I was shaking the whole time on the table that they were doing the surgery. And I was trying to do my breathing exercises and stuff, but it was like I just couldn't get my body to calm down. Um, So I don't even know how long I was on the table before they pulled her out, but they pulled her out and I'm like waiting to hear her cry. And I'm just like waiting there, waiting there, waiting there. And I'm like praying. I'm like, I just need to hear her cry to know that she's okay. And then I hear her cry and then I start crying because I'm like, oh my gosh, my baby's here. She's okay. And Thankfully, she didn't have to go to NICU. Like, we delivered her in time. There were no complications with the meconium or with the cholestasis, so that was like a huge, huge blessing. Um, they closed me up. Um, they also ended up telling me right before they take me in for the C-section that I had preeclampsia, which was not an issue before. Um, so they were like, after you deliver, we're gonna have to put you on like this treatment. So I'm like, okay, whatever. Like, as long as we get the baby and the baby is fine, I'll do whatever. So they close me up. They hand me the baby. She is huge. She is a big baby. Like, to the point my doctor even like popped her head in after delivering and was like, "Aren't you glad I had you deliver at 37 and not wait longer? Because if you waited longer, she would have been a 10-pound baby." So, so yeah, I was just glad that she was healthy. She was good. No NICU need. Like, the NICU team was there when she was delivered, but they were just like, "Oh, you guys don't need us." So that was awesome. Um, so yeah, that first night we're exhausted, but just happy to have the baby. Um, my mom comes. I don't think you guys came the first day. Y'all came the second day.
Yeah, I think that the first day, weren't we having a party?
Yeah, yeah. You guys had your cookout. You had the
Yeah, we had
your
we were
cookout.
having a cookout.
Yeah. So yeah,
So we
y'all weren't
didn't come
there.
that day.
Yeah. So the first day, like, yeah, we were exhausted. My parents were there. They got to hold the baby. And I'm on this treatment. And so the lady like told me like, "Oh, you have like flu-like symptoms." And I'm like, "Okay." Because she's like, "It's, magnesium." So I'm like, "Okay." So I'm not feeling great. And like overnight, I felt like I was getting worse. Like, it was hard to breathe. I was feeling like I was sweating, I was hot, I was feeling really sick. And so I kept like calling the nurse, like, "Hey, like, I'm not feeling great. I'm not feeling great." And we thankfully had a nurse that was um, really kind to like take the baby for a couple hours every so often so that we could try to take a nap and so that the team could like tend to me. Um, and I just remember them saying something about like I had an infection, like I had some kind of like blood infection or something. And so they needed to keep taking more tests and running more tests. And so, like, come the morning, um, they like drew my blood and they did like some other tests. But the issue was they were having trouble getting getting my blood or getting like an IV line in because my veins had shrank so much. Um, and so they were like starting to kind of panic a little bit because I had this blood infection. Um, I I guess was dehydrated to a degree, and the other thing was I had lost so much blood during the C-section. So they're like, you need to get a blood transfusion. Like, if you don't get this blood transfusion, like, we don't we can't say that you're gonna make it or not. So me and my husband are like, yes, let's do this. Like, let's do the blood transfusion. They still struggle with trying to get the IV in or the line in to give me the blood. And so they're like trying to call staff from different parts of the hospital who might be able to specialize in working with people with like small veins. And they're like, we have to send you to ICU. Like, we don't have the people here in the maternity ward to help get this line in and to treat you. You have to go to ICU. The unfortunate part about you going to ICU is you can't bring your baby with you because it's ICU. And like, that was that was hard news, but I knew to see my baby I had to be healthy. So I'm like, I I just remember praying like, God, this can't be the life that you wanted for me. Like, you can't give me this beautiful child that comes out in perfect health and then I just leave my family. Like, that's not even fair. Like, that's not even right. Like, you have to fix this. Like, something has to fix. Something has to be done. So they they take me to ICU, and the team works so fast. Like, They were also trying to get me put on oxygen because again, like I couldn't breathe, like I was struggling with breathing. All of my limbs were swollen. And like if you see some of my like maternity pictures and like my other pictures while I was pregnant, like you'll see like my body was swollen. Like I was holding a lot of fluid. So I think there was something up with like my circulation too. So, and mind you, still had the epidural, so I still can't walk. So it was just a lot going on. So they're just like, we need to make sure you're getting your blood flow. We need to make sure your circulation is good. We need to get this infection out. And we also need to make sure that you're getting some blood in. So it was just a lot. And I think Moyo and my mother-in-law came like right as we got that news too. And so it was just like, it was crazy because it's just,
Yeah.
we did not expect for, me to, I don't want to say lose the baby in like a way of like, we lost custody of the baby, but just like having to leave her in the nursery was like one of my worst fears. Like to just deliver and to not be able to hold my baby for her first couple of days was so hard. And even when I was in ICU, I could only see her for like 30 minutes each day. And by the second day, like I was a wreck. Like I was crying. I was like practically screaming in that room. Like I just want to get out of here. Like somebody tell me what's going on. Like get me out of here because I just had a baby. I need to see my baby. I need to be there for my baby. And like I'm thankful that they tried to help me like transition with that, but by like giving me like a breast pump so I can like start pumping. So by the time I see my baby, I can breastfeed her and everything. But because I was on so many drugs, they're like, you can't really give her any of this milk. So
Hmm.
you're just doing it for practice kind of thing. So it was just really hard. It was very, very hard on me mentally and emotionally. Um, so eventually, I finally get out of ICU. They clear the infection. My breathing gets better. Um, and we're in the maternity like postpartum unit, so that's where we're learning more about pumping and how to take care of the baby. I'm still kind of struggling with walking because I had my legs were swollen and I wasn't walking for like a couple days, and I wasn't using the bathroom independently either. Like it was just it was a lot. Like it was
Hmm.
a lot. I think Moya was in there one day when they were like, okay, can you go to the bathroom? And I'm like, no, like, I can't. Like, I don't know how. Like, I can't get my body to do, what it's always been doing for as long as I've been alive, kind of thing. So it was a lot. But once we finally got to the postpartum unit, I'm like, trying to walk around the room a little bit more, um, and get my strength back so that I can, hold the baby, I can take care of the baby. And she was she was great. She was great with us. She um she was an eater, so that was a good thing. Like she had the tongue tie, but she still like was determined to breastfeed. So that was good. We did the formula while we were in the hospital, of course, because I was in the ICU. So she did formula, and then even when we finally came home, she did formula for a little bit. She did formula and breast milk, kind of alternated because I was still also on medication because of the C-section too, and the high blood pressure. And yeah, it was just a lot of meds. But she was a trooper, and you would never know that we were separated for so long in the hospital her first couple of days because that girl is a mama's girl. And I love that for her, and I love that for me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right, let me
it was a tough
rewind
journey.
my point of
Go
view
ahead.
of the story because okay, so I'm gonna start with the I'll start with the pregnancy test. So Jess sends me the pregnancy test. She's like, I'm freaking out a little bit, something, something, something. And then she sends me a little paragraph and she's like, actually, I'm freaking out a lot, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, and so I say, because my heart started beating really fast. So I just say, why is my heart beating so fast? And in all caps. And then I call her. So I did look at the text. But through the pregnancy, I felt kind of worried because Jess wasn't sharing that much and it was kind of like this secretive thing, but I knew that they had anxiety about it because of everything that Jess said. So I wasn't pushing the situation. And my husband kept being like, you want to do this, you want to do that. I'm like, yeah, but I got to be respectful of their situation. Like whatever.
Yeah.
I think to some degree I was like, we can't help them. We don't know how to pray for them because we don't know what's going on. Jess would try to share little things, but I think her husband was more like, let's keep these things to ourselves. So if I found out something, it would be like, I don't know if it was an accident or if Jess was just like, I can't hold it no more. I got to tell somebody. But like, that's how I was finding things out. Whereas with my pregnancy, Jess is like literally there walking through every step and was in the delivery room. She was at appointment. She was like, I would call her on video and see. So I didn't see any of that. I was just like everybody else. Like I get the information when I get the information. Um, and I think y'all didn't want people to come to the hospital either. I don't know how I got past that one, but I was like, I don't get to be in there. I at least need to see this baby. But the day that they had the baby, we were having our party. And I remember Jess asking me like, well, since we're getting induced on the 3rd, are you still having your party? And I was confused because I'm like, you said we couldn't come. Like, can't nobody come to the hospital? So that's when I was like, okay, maybe she actually wants me to come to the hospital. You can answer how you saw it. Cause I was like, cause I was talking to her, Marcus, like, they said don't come, but Jess said, am I still having my party on the 6th? So does that mean she want me to come? But I didn't want to ask because I was like, I don't know what's going on. Like, I don't know what to do. Um, how did you see it, Jess?
I mean, I did want her to be there, but I also knew like we were just trying to like I guess wait until the baby got here. Well, my husband was like, let's just kind of like wait till the baby gets here and then we'll have people or have you come because he was like he knew that regardless you were going to try to come to the hospital, like especially because
Yeah, I think
my
I
mother-in-law
called
was going to be
him.
like,
I think I called him the day you guys delivered. Um, because your mom called me and she was like, what did you do? Because I guess when you added me to be able to come, you added her because it was like, well, you can't add one without the other. And so your mom called me and was like, what did you say to them? I'm like, I didn't say anything. I just told them I'm coming. Like, I'm coming. So the day I was coming was the next day, and I'm driving. I have Mama Coleman with me, and Jess' mom calls me again, and she's like, I could hear in her voice something was wrong, but I'm trying not to panic because I'm like, no one has told me anything yet, so I don't want to freak out. But then I just say, what is wrong? Because she just basically was saying on the phone, are you on your way to the hospital? But you could hear her voice shaking, like something is not right.
mm-hmm.
And I'm like, what's going on? What's wrong? Like, why are you asking me if I'm on my way to the hospital? And she's like, they said, and she just starts crying. She's like, Justice has to have a transfusion. This. So I hang up the phone. Me and Mama Coleman are praying, and we're driving. I'm like, and I had literally just left my house. I was supposed to get gas, and I was like, no gas. Like we gonna get here with the little bit of gas we got, and we made it. We made it. We did not break down on the side of the road. But I literally had no gas. I was like, I'm gonna get gas. I was right by the gas station. I was like, never mind, no gas. And we get to the hospital. We figure out where they are because I think we kept saying Coleman, but you were under Goss. So then I was like, it's probably under Goss. And the lady's like, oh, the girl that's over there, I think. And so you guys
Not the
were
girl over
still in
there.
the they were still in the like, I don't even know what, it
Oh, it
wasn't a
was like
room because they didn't have a
it
room yet.
wasn't. Yeah, it was like a post-surgery like section where you're just separated by curtains because they usually put you there while they prepare your postpartum room, but because I was having complication, they're like, we can't put her in the postpartum room. Like we have to keep her in the post-surgery room until she's stable kind of thing, which was weird.
I thought that was weird because I'm like, the baby was born yesterday. Why are they still not in a room today? Um, but anyway, so we get there and we grab all the stuff. Ronald was not in the state of mind to even like that man was out of it because it was so much going on for him. Like he has this fresh baby, his wife is getting taken. So me and Mama Coleman are lugging because these people packed to the hospital like they was about to stay there for a month. So we got luggage. We have like the luggage around us, and we're just like following along, like trying to just. And he did not help. I'm texting my husband like, this stuff is heavy, but we're trying to help. Like we're trying to make it, and we just keep stopping. We taking breaks because it was a lot of stuff. But we were like, we can't
Not
just leave their
breaks.
stuff here. So we took it. I think we ended up taking it to the family where the family waiting room over by the ICU. Um, and again, we don't know what's going on. And they didn't let Ronald go in. And so again, he's freaking out. And I'm like, I think they said, oh, give us 10 to 15 minutes and then he could come back. 20, 30 minutes go by and I'm like, hello, like what's going on? So he didn't want to ask because I don't know if he felt like, and this probably would have been good to have him say his piece or his side. Maybe we can have him come and talk about it. All the husbands come and say their sides of the story. But I go back there and I'm like, hey, my sister is back here. They said 10 to 15 minutes. No one has told us anything. Like, what is going on? And this little short guy comes out. I think he's like I think he was like the manager on duty or whatever they call them. And he's like, oh, she's your sister? I'm like, yes. Like, we don't know what's going on. Da, 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 da. Like, and he's like, okay, well, she's right here. She's right here. And I'm like, okay, can I go get her husband? And so I go back, I get him and I said, go see what's going on. Cause I didn't want to go back first. And they only would let one of us be back there at a time. So I went to go get Ronald. I'm like, go see what's going on. Then you can come back. And he goes back there. I don't know what happened. But then he comes back and he just starts bawling. And I'm like, I don't know what's going on. I still don't know what's going on because he didn't say anything. I don't know if he looked at you and you looked some type of way or like what he saw. But I know when we originally saw her, she was very swollen. And I remember when my brother was in the hospital, he looked like that. Like it probably is like all the stuff that they're pumping through you. Like you don't look like yourself. So he's crying and there's other people in this waiting room and he's crying like the people in the movies, when something real dramatic happens. So it's like everybody's looking at us and then his mom just hugs him. It was super sweet, but it was also like, is something happening? Like what is actually happening? Is she going to be okay? So I think then I go back because I'm like, I can't be in here because I'm about to start crying. Let me go see for myself what's going on. And Jess is just talking. She just having a
Oop.
conversation. Like she's like, I miss my baby, blah, 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 blah. But she didn't seem like she was about to die. So I'm like, okay, it don't seem like she's about to die. So I think I am all right. Like, so I go back out and I'm like, asking him like, do you need to eat? Do you want to sleep? Do you want to like, what do you want? What do you need to do? Do you want to go see the baby? Should we go see the baby? He's like, I'm not leaving. Like he's not leaving. So I was like, well, let us go see the baby because the baby's with the nurse. So we get up there and they weren't even sure if we could see the baby. And I'm like, we need to see the baby. Like the mom is not here. The dad is trying to stay with the mom. Like we need to see the baby. And eventually this one nurse is like, just come in here. And she lets us into the little nursery area and they just give us the baby and we're back there for a little bit. And I'm like, okay, let me go back down and see what's going on. So I go back, like, it was just a lot of like back and forth and trying to just keep up with what's going on. But yeah, it was, I think once I saw Jess, I was okay. Cause Jess seemed okay at the point where I saw her, like when they were rushing her out and stuff, but she still seemed okay because she was like, I'm gonna be all right. Like she was the one telling us that she's gonna be all right. So I'm like, I mean, I think she'll be all right. If she's saying she'll be all right, I can only trust what she's saying because she's the one going through it. As much as
Yeah.
everybody else is panicking, I was trying not to panic. But on the inside, a little bit, I was panicking, but I was trying really hard not to panic. And I was just talking to my husband. He's like, just take as much time as you need. Like, just be there if you need to be there. I got the kids. Like, whatever you need to do, let me know, blah, blah, blah. So it was it was very traumatic for everybody, honestly. It was traumatic for
Listen,
everybody.
traumatic.
But
Yeah.
she's here. She's alive.
Yeah.
We are
Yeah.
thankful.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it was just like at a point after they gave us the news that like I had to have the blood transfusion and that they were struggling with getting the line in and everything, I was just like praying and then I felt like the answer to my prayer was God's gonna get the glory. And I'm like, what does that even mean? Like, I need a solid answer. Like, am I gonna be okay or not? Because I need to know what to tell people. Because I don't know what to tell people. I'm scared, but what am I supposed to tell people? Like, because even then, like, he was kind of like he hadn't really slept in like 3 days because them hospital chairs are not easy to sleep in. And like he's also just on alert at night, because I'm having contractions and stuff is happening. The nurses are in and out of the room, so he didn't really sleep. So it's just like he was trying to be, the medical professional, but also the husband and also the dad. And I think it was just a lot. And I'm glad
Mm.
he got to sleep that first night. And like, they got, a hotel for him and his mom to like stay in the first night that I had to stay in the ICU because I'm like, he has not slept and he needs to sleep. And there was no way for him to stay in the ICU while I was in the ICU.
Yeah.
And
He
while I know
also
that
couldn't
was,
stay with the baby because she didn't have a
yeah,
room. So he was
yeah,
just gonna kind of sit
Mm.
out there. And I'm like, no, you need to go lay down. Like, you're not good to anybody if you aren't good. And so
yeah,
between me and Jess' mom, because Jess' mom ended up coming, I'm not sure exactly when she came, but they came and we were all just outside trying to figure out, okay, what's the next move? And he specifically said, like, I don't want to be here by myself. So his mom was like, well, I can stay. And so I left. When did I come back? I don't know when I came back, but I did leave that night and I left her with him and like they went to the hotel. They got their stuffs together. She said he slept. I was like, I'm sure he did. Um,
yeah,
but yeah, it was a lot.
yeah. It was tough. It was very tough, very traumatic. Like I I don't know how many MRI, CAT scan things to figure out like why I couldn't breathe, like what was going on, and like I felt like we weren't getting answers. Um, like the whole like trying to get a line in to like give me like IVs and to give me the blood was it was bad. Like I had like a whole bruise on my arm for like a month. It
Mm.
finally went away. Like the way they kept sticking my hand, like to try to get a line to get a vein, just
Uh,
insane. It was a lot. Like there was a lot of scarring, a lot of bruising, and then there's still the C-section.
Yeah.
Still the C-section scar. But the thing I joke about is like, while all of this is going on, my diabetes was in pristine condition. Like my blood sugars were good the whole time for the most part. Like if anything, like it would drop low because I wasn't really eating food. Like they still kept me on like a pretty much liquid diet. And then even when I could eat, like I just didn't have the appetite because of I guess all the stuff that I was on. So I would just try to like sip juice and survive off of juice and survive off of like broth and soups. Um, but yeah, it was insane,
Yeah.
insane.
I
And
also
I know
had a lot of
Sean was
people
trying to come
texting.
too. Yeah,
yeah, I mean, I know all of us did because we didn't want to keep. I mean, I was messaging Jess anyway, but we were like,
yeah,
all right, Moya's going to be the point person, so it's easier to get information there. I mean, I was messaging Jess to be like, are you okay? Like I wasn't trying to get like the info because I was like, well, the info's going to come through Moya. Like it's easier to have it come through one person than
mm-hmm.
have, all 10 of us messaging you at the same time, trying to, it's like, all right, let's get it from one person, but I also would just message you. I was like, well,
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Some
my
of Jeff's
messages were
other
also
friends
very
were
light.
messaging me too. And they didn't
Yeah.
have like, so then I was like, hey, I can only text one of y'all. I can't keep up with all these people. Cause I think it might have been 3 or 4 of them that were texting me separately. And I just picked one and I was like, hey, I'm going to tell you the information and you pass it down. Like, I
Yeah,
can't
that's
keep
I
up
feel
with
like
it.
that's kind of how it has to be
Yeah.
in
mm-hmm.
situations like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And I think my mom was like the point person for our family because like she would tell my aunts and my cousins like what was going on. And so it was just, yeah, it was a lot of
Yeah.
like trying to disseminate information so people knew what was going on. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Hmm.
Yeah, because when she was there, she would text me. When I was there, she would text me. She would text me to be like, "What's going on? Did you get an update? Did you ask this question? Did you ask that question?" I'm like, "Okay, I'll go ask right now." Like, I'm trying to figure out what my role is here. But I think it all worked out, and eventually you got to go to the, what is it, regular maternity
yeah, the
area with
postpartum,
the
yeah,
baby.
yeah,
And Vivi was chill in the hospital. Vivi came home and was like, actually, I'm nothing like that.
Now it's time to show y'all the
It's
real
like, I was
me.
just trying to help y'all out because y'all was going through a lot. But now that
right,
we home,
right,
I'm turning up.
Pretty much. Pretty much. Girl was
That's
like,
funny.
all right,
Now she know how
you
to
good,
act in
mom?
public. She know
Great.
how to act. Because them people was like, oh, she's such a good baby. She just eats and sleeps and she hasn't given us any
Yeah,
problems. She wasn't giving nobody no problems. She was like, they stressed enough. But
pretty
now,
much.
y'all get all the problems.
Literally. She's like, I want it this way, and no other way will do but the way that I want it.
She deserves it though. She deserves it. She
Yeah.
was she was on her best behavior for the first couple of days of her life. So turn up.
Funny.
Yep. They were like, yeah, she's our favorite baby here. She just, like she said, she just eats and she just sleeps. She's just so sweet. The
Mm-hmm.
only thing she didn't like was the bath, and they were like, oh, we didn't know she cried so much and da. She still don't like baths, but we're getting there. We're getting there. We're getting
It's
better.
work.
Yeah. But that's my little baby, my little nugget. Yeah. I'm glad everything went well. I'm glad
Yeah,
she's
definitely.
she's healthy. She's growing. I'm glad I'm okay. It still is a journey, but I'm nowhere near where I was. So yeah. So when people ask, "Oh, when's the next one coming?" The I survived this one. So let's just leave it at that.
All
If
right.
God says yeah for the next one, the same way it was crazy we got this one, it'll have to happen for the next one because it was a lot. It was it was a lot. It was a
But
lot.
are you ready to be like, actually I'm done?
Me right now,
Yeah.
I I don't know. And that's the thing, like it's just been like I enjoy getting to know my baby, the one baby I have, and I can't definitively say that I'm done, but I can say that I am content, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Um, I'm content, but I'm not at peace with just one just yet. But I feel like if we are just to have one, then I'll be at peace with it. Like I don't think I'll be so heartbroken if we can't have another. Like because we've always already considered adoption. Like even when Sean was like talking about like they did their like what was it like the first call, the orientation kind of thing to the company. We were like, oh, let us know the information, let us know like what it's like because that was something we had considered because again, we just didn't know like if pregnancy would be successful for us, if like having our own would be successful. So we were like, we are definitely open to adopting because that would be our next, avenue. Um, so yeah, I think if we can't naturally have one, I think we would still consider adoption too. Like we're not so hard set, I guess, on having another kid. And right now, I don't know. I just feel like I have enough love for my one baby right now, and I couldn't imagine like it sounds weird to say couldn't imagine loving another one. Like I could, but right now I just have so much love for my one baby. I love getting to know her and just her being here. So yeah, it's
Yeah.
in
I
God's
mean,
hands.
she's still little, so
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. She's not even 6 months yet, so I'm just like,
yeah.
yeah, give us time. Give us
That's
time.
crazy. My bad. I did
Yeah.
not realize I did not. I have my charger on the whole time, but since I'm in the office and I'm on the switch, like it has to be, it's like the light bulb, the light switch, the other one. So I didn't
Oh,
have it on. So I've been watching my phone, like I'm down to like 7%, and I'm like, this ain't gonna go well because I was like, once you stop this thing,
Oh
like
yeah, you
it's
gotta
still
go.
it's gotta
yeah. It
finish.
still
And I
gotta
was like,
load.
so that's why you just saw me get up, like, like I looked, I was like, why is it dying? Like I have this supercharger, so I was like, oh, it's not on. But I realized that,
Yeah.
80 minutes in. Well, I did notice it before, but I was like, oh, it won't go that long. But then once I got down to like 7, I was like, oh, I'm gonna have, I'm gonna have to get up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I think this setup gives us more flexibility to be able to like, oh,
Hmm.
let me turn my camera off real quick if we need.
Yeah.
Let me go on
Yeah.
mute.
Yeah, definitely. It does. Yeah, sorry, Kendall, is loud.
I can't hear her.
Oh, that's good, because that's why I took off my headphones earlier, because she was screaming downstairs. Because
Hmm.
she must be about to eat. She tore up some Thanksgiving food yesterday.
I
Sure she
bet.
did.
I
Almost
bet.
fought me. Well, because John made tres leches, and I gave her some. The way she swung at me, like, give me more. I was like, girl, like, give me more. I was like, who fistballed up? Like,
Hmm.
To yoke
but
you up.
that's how she be
Yeah.
all the time. Y'all see her face all day. So
Yeah. She be making that face.
she do. And her eyebrows, they're so expressive.
I
It just
love her eyebrows.
do not be for it at all.
Vivi, yes, it doesn't have like hers are blonde. Vivi's are blonde, so you can't really see it, but you can see her wrinkled skin. Like,
Like,
yeah,
absolutely not funny.
yeah, she was
Mm.
not happy that she could not eat anything yesterday, because you could tell like she just like, y'all eating? I can't have none of this. Well, nobody's gonna enjoy it. Ah!
Wow. Y'all didn't start giving her food yet?
So the food's coming. I think it's actually here. So she'll probably have it
Oh,
for
it's
a late
specific kind of
lunch.
food?
Well, she has to start with like rice or oatmeal, like the rice cereal or the oatmeal cereal, the stage one baby food. So we're gonna start her with
Okay.
that.
I don't know what we
Yeah,
started with. Peas, something like that.
yeah. I should probably bust
Carrots.
out the baby food maker and start washing it so we can get ready to start making her food.
Mm.
Yeah, that poop about to change.
Oh boy,
Well,
I'm not ready
well,
for that.
breast milk babies are different. I mean, because like at least formula, it's the same. Like formula don't change. Like breast milk change based on what you eat. So I'm sure the
Hmm.
poop probably changed. But once that solid food hit, it was like, ew, this is this ain't the same.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm,
She already blowing diapers out now. Diapers and swaddles and PJs.
ew,
I'm just like, girl.
no.
So
Mm.
I don't know. Maybe I need to start re-examining what I'm eating because as much as I hate to admit that what I eat affects my breast milk, I guess it does. Like I don't think
It
she's
definitely does.
yeah. I don't think she has like a milk allergy, but I think she has a milk sensitivity, like dairy sensitivity. Because like
Mm,
I can still I can eat cheese without getting sick, but I think it makes her extra gassy and a little I won't say constipated, but like she'll just be loading it up and then she'll blow out.
yeah.
So I
Mm.
think yeah. But it's been nice to be able to eat food without having to take a pill.
I took a pill
Um,
yesterday to eat mac and cheese.
Look
I
at
did
you.
not, and I just suffered this morning.
Mm.
Like,
Not you still ate it.
I
I thought you were gonna say, and I didn't eat it.
girl, no, I was like, I know the risk. I know the
Sean
consequence.
Sean take the risk every time.
Girl, this has been my life since the beginning. Like, y'all new to this. I know what I can do and what I can't do. Like, what is about to happen. And
But
it's
you
not like
do
I
it
had
anyway.
avocado. It's not like I had asparagus. Like, I was good.
The real detrimental foods.
Yeah, like okay, whatever. I'm gonna have a bad poop. I can deal with that. I ain't dealing with the other stuff. I
The
say no to
insides.
those. Yeah, you ain't ripping me.
Boy. All
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what it be
right,
feeling
y'all.
like.
Yeah, that's this episode. So thanks for sharing that, Jess. That was quite an intense story. Many, I don't want to say ups and downs because the ups, I mean, well, I guess it was an up at the end. Like, you are okay.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, so it was very nice to hear. I mean, not that we haven't heard the, well, at least I guess this is my first time hearing it all
Yeah, it
together.
won't. Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, I mean, because it's not like I mean, of course, we're part of it, so we hear the bits and pieces as it goes. So nothing in the story was a surprise, but hearing it as one tale was like I'm on the edge of my seat, like I don't know what's about to happen, like I like so
Did
Yeah.
she make it?
right, like, and then Ronald came up. I was like, I know this part of the story too, but like, so yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, so we'll continue our series and switch some stuff up and
Well, we
do
only
how
have
we
one
do.
more story.
Yeah, we
So
got
what are we
Hezzy.
doing after that? Do we want to discuss that on the podcast or do we want to end and then
We
discuss?
can end
No,
and discuss.
because it's lunchtime.
Yeah.
I gotta
All
eat.
right, people. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, hit the notification, rate us on Apple. We on Spotify. We on
All
all
of
the
the
stuff,
all of
all
the
the stuff.
above. YouTube.
Yeah.
Yes, YouTube.
Uh,
YouTube.
Yeah, watch us on YouTube.
oh
I guess
shoot.
you can watch on Spotify
Did you
too.
accidentally post something?
No, I don't think I've uploaded to Spotify.
Oh, it's not too late.
I don't think I've uploaded in a while to Spotify, so we will see. Yeah, until next time, guys. Bye.
Love
Bye.
y'all.